much for watching. I'm Brittany Bailey. Summer fun has officially begun. This weekend kicks off a season of backyard barbecues and plenty of good food with family and friends. And today we want to share some recipes perfect for your gathering. First up, we're talking sides. Olivia Thurmer has a recipe for a Southwestern salad that's good by itself, as a dip, or even a main dish.
Well, hello. It is so nice to be back with y'all cooking again. I want to do a Southwestern salad today, and it will go with anything you want to serve on your Memorial Day weekend. This is Bush's chili beans in chili sauce. You can get it in a couple of different heats. I read today, hot does not have a flavor. This is rotel, and I got the fire roasted. I think that's new. The black beans. This is the Southwestern corn. It has some pickles, some peppers, and a little bit of heat, but not enough to burn us sissies. For the dressing, I chose the olive oil that is light. I think extra virgin olive oil should be enjoyed by itself mostly. It has lime juice and ground cumin seed. Now we're going to get busy and put all of those ingredients together and make a really, really good salad. We're going to start with the Southwestern corn. See all those pretty peppers and things? I did not drain it completely because there's a lot of good flavor in the juice in this corn, but don't leave it all in there because it'll be too soupy. I only drained the chili hot beans because that's where a lot of the flavor is. And I certainly didn't rinse them, and neither did I rinse the black beans because they are also the chili flavored. And the rotel, of course, you never ever drain the rotel, I don't think. I minced the onion very, very, very fine because I don't like a big bite of onion when I'm getting into a salad. And I used the Vidalia. Green onions would be wonderful if you choose to use them, and they're more often available than Vidalia is since it's seasonal. And then we're just going to stir it gently. You don't want to mush up the beans. It will be much better after you've chilled it for half an hour or maybe all evening until you get ready to serve it for dinner. I pre-mixed the dressing so that the cumin and the olive oil and the lime juice could kind of get together and be nice and fresh and also a lot more tasty. And I'm just going to drizzle that in there, put it all in, stir it gently again, and as I said, refrigerate it if you have time. I refrigerated all of the ingredients after I opened them and drained them and so on. So ours is cool, but it is not as tasty as it will be after it sets for half an hour. I wish all of you a really, really wonderful Memorial Day. I hope you will stay safe and enjoy lots of good food with family and friends. It's nice to be with you again. Thank you.
Well, no matter what you take to your cookout, if you're the one who brings something that could potentially make others sick, there's no question you won't be invited back. Allison Rosenberg with the Knox County Health Department shares these important food safety tips.
So obviously planning ahead, being mindful of the resources you have at where you're going and what you might need to take with you. If you're preparing food that needs to be kept cold, plan for that. Take with you the means to keep that food cold. A ice pack, a traditional ice pack works well. Ice, if you don't have those things or worried about space, you can always make your own ice pack. Freeze a bag of ice, take that with you, portion it out. Also take a water bottle, throw that in the freezer before, pack it around your food, and then after you serve the food, you can always drink that water. So once you arrive at your destination, at your party, take your coolers, hopefully find a shady spot, stick those under the table, under a tree, keep them out of direct sunlight. That will allow them to stay cooler longer. And actually it's a packed cooler will stay cooler longer than a half-packed cooler. So if you can fill up your coolers, that cold air will work better in that space. So fill them up. But on your way, make sure they're packed full and then put them in a shady spot. And then obviously, once you get there and you set your food out, be mindful of the time. Once you take it out of your cooler, the clock starts. Hopefully you can serve your food within 2 hours. If it reaches over 90 degrees, which in the summertime that's easy to do, you want to go ahead and discard that food once you hit that hour mark. At that point, the food is considered unsafe. Most bacteria will start to replicate within 20 minutes. So when you hit the hour mark, you could potentially be to the point where the bacteria is replicated to where it could make you sick. Ideally, you'd have 2 coolers. You'd have a cooler for your raw proteins, for your hamburgers, any raw chicken, raw pork, anything that you're cooking. You keep those separate from your vegetables, produce, and even prepared food items. If you have commercially purchased potato salad, or if you made it at home, keep those in one cooler and keep your proteins separate, if at all possible, as you're transporting the food items there. So your whole produce, as you'll see produce stands on the side of the road, produce in its whole state is considered shelf stable. It's perfectly fine, doesn't need temperature control. Once you cut into that product, you then are introducing pathogens, bacteria, and it then becomes what we call a TCS, or product that needs temperature controls to keep them safe. So once you cut it, you want it to find its way into a cold source, into a refrigerator, or be consumed as soon as possible. Once you cook a casserole, you take that to a facility or an event, take that to the event, then you have 2 hours. So after the 2-hour mark, you want to discard it. If you have reached an hour and there's a lot left and the event's over, you want to get it back into that cold source as soon as possible. The best rule of thumb, though, is if in doubt, if you're not sure if it's safe, just throw it out. Obviously, if you're not feeling well, don't prepare food. If you yourself are like, oh, I just don't feel quite right, keep those germs to yourself. Don't think that just washing your hands will prevent passing that on to your loved ones. Just go ahead and call in a takeout order. Don't prepare the food. But we always want to see you washing your hands. Always wash those hands. If in doubt, just wash your hands. Double wash. If you don't have access to hand washing, hand sanitizer is effective, or using those Clorox wipes, handy wipes are good. But hand washing is always the golden rule. Please wash your hands.
When we come back, we're talking desserts. Jess Thomas has put a new spin on a classic. If you've never tried coffee in your Rice Krispie treats, well, you might after today. Welcome back, everyone. A reminder that area farmers markets are open all over East Tennessee. As that fresh produce comes in, they'll start showing up through area vendors. Now, one of the largest farmers markets is, of course, at Market Square in downtown Knoxville. That market runs every Wednesday and Saturday through early fall. Well, you could call Amy Campbell a food anthropologist. She digs up great recipes using locally produced food items for her work on WDVX's The Tennessee Farm Table. Here she is with a salad recipe that mixes in a Southern staple.
A wonderful classic Southern recipe is cornbread salad. So that's what I'm going to make today. And it is so easy. I can't wait to show you how. It's economical. It feeds a lot of people. It's easy to make. You can put it in the fridge, make it that morning and stick it in the fridge and you're good to go. So here's what you're gonna need for your ingredients. You are gonna want to make a pan of cornbread. Of course, I like to use cast iron. This is my grandmother's cast iron skillet. And I also like to use a good stone ground cornmeal like Lenny's. I also like to always use Cruz Farm buttermilk in my cornbread. I just think it tastes so much better. They do not pay me to say this stuff. Also, for your ingredients, you're gonna need 2 cans of drained pinto beans, 2 11-ounce cans of drained corn, but I also like to just get good fresh corn and roast it on the grill and then cut it off with the cob. That's gonna make your flavor taste a lot better. You're gonna want a little more than a cup of diced green peppers, a cup of little diced green onions, about 3 tomatoes that are diced. If you can get good homemade ones, that's the best. You'll want 2 cups of cheddar cheese and a package of bacon that's been crisped and kind of chopped up. As far as bacon goes, I do prefer to use Benton's bacon. And also I save the grease and make my cornbread with it. I've got a jar I keep going at all times. Never ever throw out that grease. You can saute vegetables or do anything with it, and it really makes a great crust for your cornbread. If you have a real pretty dish like this, it's a layered salad. It's not a green salad. It's kind of a layered type salad. So if you have a real pretty glass dish, something like this works really well so you can see it. And it makes a lovely presentation. Or if you want, the good old casserole dish works real well, especially if you've got to, go to some place where there's a bunch of kids and you don't really want your good dish to get knocked over. And so here's how you do it. I'm gonna just break half of my cornbread here up, and you just shred it into big pieces. And I also like to make my cornbread the day before so that it's nice and cool and it's not too hot and all of the ingredients stay cool, because ultimately this is a chilled dish. You don't want it to be hot. So you got a nice layer of cornbread in the bottom here, and you're gonna start layering the first layer, some pinto beans on top of that cornbread. You want to put half of your ingredients onto the first layer. So I've got half of my pinto beans on the first layer. I'm going to put half of my corn kernels over those pinto beans. Going to put some green peppers, which makes it really pretty, on top of the corn. Then some nice, beautiful tomatoes. I'm so glad that the farmers markets are open now, because I know some people have some really nice tomatoes. Then we're going to go and put 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese over the tomatoes, just as even as you can get it. And then half of the bacon on top of that. Another thing that you're going to be using is ranch dressing. Now, I make my own, and I make it with yogurt and mayonnaise. I use yogurt that doesn't have any flavoring because it cuts down on the fat. Most people use sour cream and mayonnaise and then a little packet of ranch dressing spice mix, but you can always make your own just from spices in your house. But you want to make this so it has some body, and that you don't have that old runny salad dressing. That's really not what you want. Then the very top, I'm gonna put chopped green onion all over that. And it makes a beautiful salad with all of these nice festive layers. And that, my friend, is cornbread salad. What you want to do after you get it assembled, you want to wrap it and cool it in your refrigerator for 2 hours. It really is important to keep it cool. And some of the different tips I use is make your ranch dressing yourself so it's good and thick. Use Benton's bacon for your cornbread, and your bacon's going to taste better as well. Cruz Farm buttermilk for making your cornbread, and a good stone ground cornmeal. Thank you so much for listening, and join me at my radio show if you'd like to, for kind of recipes like this and things that are approachable and that you can actually do in your house. TennesseeFarmTable.com. I'm Amy Campbell. Thank you.
The sweetest way to end any great cookout or barbecue is with dessert. Jess Thomas is a personal chef who has her own podcast. She's sharing a recipe for Mocha crispy treats.
Hey all, it's Jess. The summer is a perfect time for getting together with people and having really yummy food. So whether it's a potluck or a picnic, a cookout, you want to be prepared to end on a delicious note. I have got for you today Mocha crispy treats. Now they are a twist on the Rice Krispie treat, but with a little coffee flavor that makes it a little more grown up. But the best part, no matter what the dietary needs are for the people that you're entertaining, these can be dairy-free, they're definitely gluten-free, and they're egg-free, so everybody can enjoy them. So let's get started on Mocha crispy treats. You're gonna take a 13 by 9, this one has a cover so it's easy to transport, put it over your sink and spray it really well. 3 tablespoons of margarine or butter, 10 ounces of mini or large marshmallows, 6 cups of rice, and 3 tablespoons of coffee. You're going to melt that butter in your heavy pan, and you want to coat the sides of the pan to help prevent it from sticking, whether it's melted or in its cold form. Add your 6 cups of marshmallows. Again, you can use mini because they melt a lot easier. That's why I prefer them. And then you're going to stir vigorously. When it's almost melted, that's when you want to add the coffee, and just stir it right in until it's liquefied. That's when you know you're ready for turning off the heat and then adding your crisped rice. As soon as you put it in, keep stirring. You don't want a big glob. You want it to be evenly distributed. Then you're going to get your pan and pour it all in. Next, you need either parchment paper or wax paper because you want to make this all even. So cover it, and then you can use your hands to spread it out. I'm doing this, but then afterward, I'm going to take a flat measuring cup. That'll get it nice and even. Now, I told you this is an easy cleanup. So yes, it looks like it's all sticky and gonna take forever. Nope, just fill your pot with water until a couple of hours later, look. All that sugar melted, totally easy cleanup. Now that my treats have cooled, I'm gonna flip it over so that I can cut it evenly on my cutting board. You can cut it straight in the pan. I'm just doing this so I can have nice even pieces, but I am putting it back in that same pan because I have this lid and it's easy for me to travel. So I hope you can see how easy this is, how delicious it is, and you can make this ahead of time. These really are the perfect dessert. So you don't need to even carry extra plates and forks. They're easy to pick up and eat, and everybody's gonna love them. You can find more of my recipes at Just Soul Food on Instagram. So I hope you try these and have a great summer.
Have you ever wondered about the difference between a barbecue and a cookout? Well, according to barbecuegrills.com, it's usually dependent on where you live. Here in the South, the words are pretty much interchangeable. But there is a real difference. A barbecue involves cooking something slowly over indirect heat, while a cookout involves fast cooking over a direct flame. Who knew? Well, someone who knows a lot about this is Brandon Lawson, the owner of TMG Pits, who shares these must-haves for anyone looking to cook in the great outdoors.
So I'm Brandon with TMG Pits here in Knoxville, Tennessee. We're a pit builder here in Knoxville. We ship pits worldwide. But what do you need for your backyard? Well, that's really up to you. Is it a grill? Is it a smoker? Maybe it's just a little pot burner. But either way, some essentials that you need are going to be a spatula, rubs, barbecue sauces, and make sure you never forget your wood, your charcoal, your propane, because nothing's worse than running out of that in the middle of a cook. Timing is actually the most important thing, maybe one of the hardest things in cooking. You got friends and family coming over and you have to hit that deadline. So obviously knowing what you're cooking, which meat you're cooking, how long it's going to take. A good grill thermometer, a probe thermometer is great to have also, because it kind of show you as you go along your cook. So that's probably one of the most important parts. A barbecue pit is usually used for smoking, so more stuff like Boston butts, brisket, ribs, chicken. And obviously on the grill, it's going to be more steaks and burgers, also chicken. Well, a lot of people do their pork butts differently. Everyone has their own little trick and their own little trade. But for us, we came in this morning, probably 5 this morning, and started seasoning the pork butts that are on this smoker right now. And then we let them go kind of low and slow at first, 225 for 4 or 5 hours, bump it up to 275, and that's usually a 10, 12-hour cook. Well, I love building pits. Grew up in Knoxville smoking food with my grandfather, so it just kind of runs in my blood.
The star of many a barbecue or cookout is the food prepared on the grill or smoker, of course. But a quick reminder to make sure you're grilling your food to the safe internal temperature. Here's the rule of thumb for you. For beef or pork, make sure it's at 145 degrees and then allow it to rest. Ground meats need an internal temperature of 160 degrees, while fish and shellfish need to be at 145 degrees, and chicken needs a temperature of 165 degrees. Thanks so much for watching. We do hope you have a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend and a fun summer full of laughter and lots of good food.